You obviously know each other's taste pretty well, so unfortunately designers don't know your taste and don't know you, so you have to keep them well informed, okay? Try and remember that. There's your keys.
Thank you.
Good luck, off you go.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Anne and Ron will be working with interior designer Liz Wagstaff.
Right, you ready to go?
Yes, yeah.
Look a bit worried.
Well, a bit apprehensive.
Don't worry, trust me, we'll do a good job. Now, what are the main points in the room you think need changing?
Really, the main aspect of the room is to make it into a family room.
Right, so it's got to serve all sorts of different purposes, really.
Exactly,
Right.
yes.
That would be nice if it was coloured, if you
Right.
like, instead of, you know, the horrible woody effect. Perhaps some cupboard space up there.
Right.
That'd be
The
lovely.
roof
That's
doors.
what. Well, that's
yeah, and
right.
the roof doors, they've
Bit
got
of a
to
mess.
go, haven't they? And they're a bit
Yes.
warped anyway, so
Yes.
we can
Yeah.
get rid of those.
Yes.
Well, I thought what we could do, because it's got to be a sort of family room,
Yeah.
is to make it almost like a real den, but sort of like a cabiny type den. So it's got lots of
Sounds
nice
lovely.
bits to play with and bits to look at, but it's also a very adult room. We can do something with the walls. We won't take the tongue and groove away, but we'll just make it white and then put a glaze on it and make it into a wall effect. So that gives you that whole cabin feel
Sounds
again.
great.
Yes, could this be made into a room where, you know, somebody could sleep?
Yeah,
Could
well, we
you-
thought we could double up and use a futon, so we could have a settee and a bed.
Oh, brilliant.
So
yeah.
it'd be
Oh,
easy.
Do you like that?
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
the
Cracking
clock's
idea.
ticking
Yes,
now. The
great.
clock's ticking, so we
Okay.
really ought to try and sort of
Okay,
clear the
there we
room
go.
and off we
Okay,
go.
Brilliant.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Working with Tracy and Tony will be Graham Wynne. Graham is a design consultant with a very impressive client list, but I couldn't possibly tell you who.
Tracy. Hi, how are you? Tony,
Hi,
nice to
Graham.
see you.
And you?
So, we obviously talked about the room before, but just recap, tell me what your thoughts are on it.
Well, I think we need to do something with the colour. The green is, well, I don't really know what it is, but it's
It's impressive, isn't it?
it is very
Definitely
much, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a nice high room, isn't it? A nice bright room.
Yeah.
It could be made so much brighter.
I think so. Lighten it up,
Yeah.
make it more airy. And
Definitely.
Tracy, you were saying the
Stairs
stairs.
have got to go.
Yeah, complete waste of space, particularly as they're just going into a loft.
Yeah.
Do something with the floor.
The floor, yes.
Right.
This is a victim of someone's paint effects going on here.
Furniture-wise as well, I think the
The
wardrobes,
wardrobes, definitely.
are poor. They need updating, I think, don't they?
I think we can do something with those. And I've noticed in the house there's a lot of pine furniture.
There is.
Which is surplus to requirements in some of the
Yes.
other rooms, and there's lots of bits and bobs. So I think what would be nice is to utilise what we can from other rooms in the house and bring it in here. I was thinking in terms of a sort of country-style bedroom. Do you think they would like that?
Sounds nice. I think they would, don't you?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
And maybe if we whitewashed the walls, maybe gave it a slightly antique white feel,
Right.
and just
That'd be nice and
introduced,
bright.
and just introduced one simple colour like blue, which is always crisp with the white.
Right, I love
Do-
blue.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds
well,
great.
if you're happy,
Yes.
we've got
I'm quite
48
happy
hours
with
now
that.
to do this
Yeah.
in.
Yes, indeed,
Yes.
yeah.
So we better get cracking.
We better
Better have.
Let's
Okay.
start.
Yeah.
Now, we better get on with the first job, which is the worst one, really, which is sorting out this tongue and groove. Now, we've got to sugar soap it down. Sugar soaping and sanding it will actually give a key for the priming paint to go on, because as it is, when we put primer on that, it's just going to slip straight off again. We need to provide a really good key.
Round the corner, the filler's going in and those stairs are coming out.
I never want to do
Morning,
anything by
Carol.
halves. What are you doing here?
Taking this disastrous looking staircase out, which takes up half the room.
Don't be so scathing about people's homes. It takes up half the room, I admit.
Stick a nice loft ladder up here, nice and simple. All out of the way, everything's hidden, so you can use this space underneath here.
It's a shame you can't do something with this wood, because it looks
We
quite
are.
nice wood.
We're going to do some shelves out of this wood.
Really?
Improvisation here. Cut some brackets out of this. Nice thick sturdy timber for the brackets. Waste not, want not.
But the acrylic primer's great. An hour and it'll be dry. Just make sure you get all the primer into the groove so that we don't see any of it.
Is this the one that's we're going to have another coat on
It's
it?
going to have another coat
Okay,
over the
the
top.
same.
The set of the same. Yeah, it just makes it, prepares it really well to put the glaze on. It gives almost like just like the smoothest finish you can have, really.
Tony, I think the filler on the floor's dry now, so it's quite a simple case of just sanding off these joins to make it absolutely flat, so that when we paint over it, no one will know that they're different boards. The reason I brought you into the conservatory, Tracy, is to see what we can do with this old ottoman. Now, I think the room can use some country fabrics, and of course the most obvious one is gingham. But one thing we're going to have to do is obviously to carefully remove the braiding that goes around the edge.
Right.
So I have just actually made a little start on that, and I'm just doing it with a scalpel.
Okay, Anne, we're going to get this floor cloth started because we need to paint it up today so we can varnish it tomorrow morning.
Now, this is a zappy mat to make a colourful and easy clean surface for the attic floor.
What material is this, Liz?
This is called duck canvas, which is the same canvas that artists use. And we're going to do this basic sort of flag nautical look to it, you know, the signalling flags.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do on it. So we're going to do these with, like Cheat's way, with starting with a stencil, then we'll fill in the rest.
Okay.
When we seal it up tomorrow, put a varnish on it tomorrow, it means that it can be anything that gets spilt on it will just wipe off.
Oh, nice.
So Tony, this is the great moment of decorating. We've done all the boring preparation. It's fine. We're going to now cover the walls. What we're going to do is we're going to use once emulsion, which is meant to cover in one coat. We shall see. But it's very, very thick stuff, and it's certainly a lot better than using a standard emulsion.
Good.
See, I'd love to do things like this at home, but I haven't got somebody that will sit and hold it in place for me.
Hey.
Oh,
look!
That
Now
was
what
me.
are we going to have to do? No, right, you're all right.
Can I just sign that wee bit to see
Yeah,
that?
so that was Carol's one.
That's kind of characterful.
Well, it is, yeah.
Are you concerned what might be happening in your house at the moment?
Not concerned, but I'm into this. I'm enjoying this, but then my mind wanders and think, oh, you know, I hope it's going to be to our liking.
So Tracy, how's it going?
Okay,
It's looking
just
good.
got to do the underside now.
Fine. So what you've done then is, as I've suggested to
Yeah.
you, just got the fabric roughly onto the framework.
Yeah.
And we've only put about 4 or 5 staples in this, haven't we?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah,
so
just
far.
to hold it on.
Just
yeah,
to hold
for now.
it. Okay. So we now, because there's nothing worse than getting halfway round and then having
Making
to
a
remove
mess.
300 staples. So now these are the real staples that are going to stay in it forever.
Right.
And I want you to just staple it all around underneath the lip. And if you can do that right the way around, and then the same at the bottom, and it's
Right,
finished
bottom
really.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, Liz.
Doors.
What you suggested for the boiler cupboard upstairs, just a bit of 3/4 MDF, a little bit of edging round like so,
Great.
which we'll pin and glue in place.
Great stuff.
We want something like a mirror up the top here,
Yeah,
yeah?
we've got those round mirrors, the porthole look.
Porthole look,
The
good
porthole
stuff.
look.
That's what I like.
So what we're going to do to prevent the bowing, which has been in the doors that we had to take off?
Right, vent holes.
Owls.
Owls, Gil.
Owls.
Owls, Gil.
Owls.
Andy's also been working his magic on some shelves. He's sawn them in half. Now Anne and Ron can get on with staining them green.
What I've done is I've just prepared a small sample area of a base colour. Now this is not what this isn't going to be the final colour of the floor, but this is, if you like, the background colour. I've mixed up some of the white that we used on the wall together with a little bit of this scumble glaze that we're also going to use on the wall. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roughly paint over this section and then use one of these on top of it, which is a rocker. So I've just slapped that on, and I have to do it quite quickly before it dries off. Run my rocker down it, and you get this wonderful sort of grainy effect.
That's unbelievable.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Don't get worried. You put the glaze on the wall.
It's 5 o'clock on day 1 and time for a sit down.
And what happens, the scumble glaze lengthens the working time of the paint, or glaze as it would, but it also makes it translucent at the same time.
Right.
So
Liz has added artist paint to this glaze.
You've had to make this out of 2 separate colours.
No, well, yes, I have. A bit of green, a bit of yellow ochre just to soften it off a little bit. So it looks like a beach hut, Carol. Does it look like a beach hut to you?
I think, well, yes, I suppose so. What about it? What about Tracy? Do you think she's going to like this?
Oh, Ron's reserving
I'm
judgment.
hoping so.
You don't sound very confident, Ron.
No, no. But I think once she's seen it,
Does she
once
like?
everything's in its place, I think she'll be okay.
Does she like green?
Oh, it's a dodgy subject.
Dodgy
at the moment.
subject, that one. Doesn't like green, no.
She doesn't like green.
But we actually didn't know that.
And believe
It's up
this,
to you to tell Liz she doesn't like green.
correct.
Come on, look.
But
Whenever. Don't say that. Come on.
Are you still sure about covering that bed head in gingham?
Well, yes, I am. I don't think we've got much choice.
What about doing the same effect that we've got on the floor, on the wall, as a
bed head?
as a bed head?
Create one.
Create your own bed head.
Yeah. No, seriously, that could work, couldn't it?
Could do.
It would be more interesting than the gingham.
Yeah.
But what we'd have to do is we'd have to have some sort of wooden frame to give some relief so it doesn't just stop.
Right.
And just do the same effect as this, so you've got a matching bed head.
Well, we've got these nice little lanterns, but what I thought would make them look more special is to put some French enamel varnish on it. And it's just an oil-based varnish, but it goes off really, really quickly, about 20 minutes. And they do them in lots of lovely bright colours, so I thought we'd tart it up a bit. What we'll do tomorrow is just put a bit of ageing fluid on it, which will take it down a bit and make it look really nice and old.
Much to do tonight. You're not going to work late tonight, are you? Just to finish this off and then
That's it, I think.
nice relaxing night.
Absolutely.
Good. Right, I'll see you in the morning. I'll let you get on with it.
Okay.
And
Good night, then.
Well, did you sleep well last night?
Yes, didn't want to get up this morning. Face it all again.
I'm afraid it's going to be a tough day now.
It's the beginning of day 2 and Tracy's taking Graham on a tour of her mum's clutter.
If you can get in there.
It's kind of frightening.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Now, of course, the rest of the house is immaculate, but this is obviously her dump room, and I think it would be good if we can utilise some of the stuff that's in here in the room.
Right.
Cushions. Brand new cushions.
Right.
Sort of vaguely in our colour scheme, we might be able to use those. What is this?
Let's have a look.
This.
Corner unit, innit? Yeah. We use that?
This is fabulous. It would be nice to have some personal sort of pictures. Is that you as a child?
Yes, it is. You're not going to put that in there, are you?
You might sneak it in. You might sneak it in. I think they'd like that.
Across the landing, Tony's creating a Mediterranean wash. To you and me, that means he's painting on a scumbo glaze and rubbing it off.
So Ron, the doors are going to have a wax resist technique done on them, and it's ever so quick. What you do is these have had one coat of emulsion on them, and you just take the wax and you daub it on the areas where it would get natural wear. So if a door gets knocked, like it usually sort of gets knocked on the edges. And when we put the top coat on of the green, it shows a faint sheen through where you've put the wax on. And you actually can just rub it off with sandpaper and you'll see the white base coat underneath.
And it looks a good piece of gear there.
It's a brilliant machine. This is for our mitre for the top of the wardrobe. This is a bit of cornice, which we salvaged off that old kitchen I was telling you about yesterday. Yeah, brilliant. It cost us nothing. It was going to go in the skip. So a quick idea there. All you do is just set this moves around and the angles and all that, which is absolute brilliant machine. Hire it from any rent-a-tool place, somewhere like that, about £15 a day or so. But you'll do everything in one day, so it's brilliant, it really is. And it gives you the ultimate cut, it really does. It's just absolutely perfect.
Easy, isn't it?
Look, it really is. This goes on top of the old cupboard here now.
Looking good, aren't they?
They are really good cuts. They really are.
So what we need to do is we need to mark out the lines on the floor. You've got a steady hand, haven't you, Cal?
yes, of course.
Okay, dead easy. All we're going to do is we're going to make nice big old-fashioned 6-inch floorboards.
And this is just drawing it on with a pen.
Yeah, we're just going to draw it on with an indelible. It's very important that it's an indelible felt tip.
Looks like black felt pen to me.
It's 11 o'clock on day 2 and Andy's still got a lot of work to do to those wardrobes. The new doors have turned out to be a little bit longer than the originals, so Andy's fitting skirting board to the base to raise the wardrobe off the floor. But he better get a move on because I've still got to paint them.
That is just brilliant. Graham.
Hello.
We've hit a little teeny problem. What? I'm sorry to say, but we've got a rather large gap in the middle here.
Oh yeah, I know about that. That's because these are standard sized doors. So you're never going to be able to get them to match. So I thought what we'd do is put a fillet of thin wood stuck onto the back of one, and I think it'll be absolutely fine. Right. It's not a problem. So that.
But what about where it hits here then?
Well, if it's thin enough, it'll be fine.
You're happy with layering a gap of about a quarter, yeah?
Yeah, no problem.
Right,
that's fine.
Right, fine. Okay, you're on the governor.
Anne and Ron are mastering the eyelet machine. 4 blinds, that's 160 holes. We could be here for some time.
Excellent.
Can you just get on an iron about 58,000 metres of muslin for me?
Thank you very much.
And so I thought you'd enjoy that job.
I've got all these jobs.
And let me see what else there is to do.
The wardrobes, meanwhile, got so big, I had to take them out into the street.
Because what we're going to do, this isn't the final effect.
Right, okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to partly sand this and then use the antiquing wax that we've used before on this to give it an aged finish. So I think that'll be fine then.
Okay.
But what I do need help with is these panels.
Okay.
Now the idea for this is to put a chicken wire mesh behind the panel, rather like they do in old French farmhouses.
Oh, lovely.
And then what we're going to do behind the chicken wire is we're going to pleat some gingham so that the
It looks all
whole
kind of
back
like...
of the door is rather like a sort of French farmhousey.
Oh, lovely. We've only got 5 minutes, guys, so... Is that all right?
That's it, we're finished.
Time's up, and now the moment of truth. Will Anne and Ron take a fancy to their French farmhouse? And will Tracy and Tony turn green at the sight of their beach hut attic?
It's great. Are you pleased?
Yeah, I really love it. It all came together so well, and they both worked so hard, and it's been great. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased.
Have you had to buy much over and above? I can only imagine this must have been your biggest overall expense.
It was biggie, but it was just an absolute necessity. So this was £98
for the futon, but you've dyed it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've stained the legs. Yeah,
the
stained the legs, and that was IKEA.
The woodwork.
Yeah.
So what was the cheapest thing then?
25p tea towels from just a high street shop.
Where?
You're leaning against them. Cushions. So they were 25p.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Clever idea.
Yeah,
and
not
also,
bad.
you know, if the children have got wet hands, they can just
they can just damp them off on there. Yeah.
Anything else? What else did you have to buy over and above?
Lakeland Plastics, the boxes
The
there,
boxes for all the
which
toys.
are $4.99 for a pack of 4.
Very
which
cheap.
is great. Yeah, really, really good.
Great
and they're
colours
handy
too.
just for putting toys and things like that in.
And paintwork. You've had a lot of paintwork to cover.
A lot of that, but we did this with Classic Colour Effects, which is an acrylic scumble glaze made by Polyvine, which you can get in major sort of DIY places, and that's £10.50. But with that, a little goes a long, long way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you manage to stay within the £500?
A little bit over.
Ooh,
just
you
a
couldn't
little bit.
how
Just a
little?
little bit. Well, about £20. Something like that.
Well,
But
you
don't
wouldn't-
forgive me, Carol.
You
I
look like
tried
you've gone
my
a couple of
best.
hundred over to me. On you go. Open your eyes.
Wow.
Where's the room gone? Where's the what gone?
Where's the room gone?
The room's still here. We haven't actually knocked any walls down or anything.
That's unbelievable.
It does look a lot better, doesn't it? Look at that. That's unbelievable. It's green, isn't it?
Do you like
I think it's lovely.
lovely here? Somebody said to me at very late notice, "Oh no, it's all right, don't you get all emotional a minute," that you didn't like green.
I didn't, but I like them.
Are you sure? You're not just saying
wishy-washy
that?
green, isn't it? It's nice.
That's
A hint of
brilliant.
green.
And
It is lovely, isn't it?
these. God.
Oh, look at all these toys.
You had the toys
We
before.
had the
we
toys,
didn't
I
buy
know,
the
but
toys.
the boxes, even the boxes, isn't that clever?
You got your futon here for you to have guests.
Absolutely brilliant. Look at the bed.
Have a new door. Look at the holes. Have you seen the door with the holes in there?
Blimey.
Desperate to go and have a look, aren't you? Up
I
close.
am.
cannot
I want to
believe
go and
it.
look. No,
I
it's
do. Look
completely
at the
different, isn't
curtains.
it? Completely
Goodness
different.
me. God, blimey.
It's lovely.
Brilliant.
Very good.
Really good.
You cut it fine, but I'll give you that. You've managed to get through just in the end.
We did, just.
What gave you the idea for this kind of look?
Well, we were very lucky with this house because they had a lot of great pine furniture, and half of which was sort of on their landing. So it didn't have to come far from there into here. So that was the beginning of my thoughts, as to make it into a sort of country theme. And it was a heaven-sent gift because it would have cost a fortune if we'd have had to have gone out and bought other items. So.
Supreme talent there on those wardrobes. Was that just off-the-shelf paint for that?
Yes, that's Regal Blue from Crown Expressions, which is $7.29 a litre.
Great. And you had your antique wax and all
yeah,
the bits
we
on top of that
waxed
too.
it down.
Was it an expensive room to do?
We did it just about on budget, but I did go a little bit mad on the bedding because I figured, let's have a bit of luxury. This is really good quality linen, and this was the most expensive item at £97 for the bedding.
Ooh. I thought that rug would have been quite high up in the price list.
That was my second highest item. That was £65 from Habitat.
What about on the other end of the scale? What was the cheapest item? Or the least expensive, I should say.
Well, I suppose least expensive or best bargain would be the curtains, which are from Debenhams, and they're £19.50 ready-made curtains a pair. So
under £20
exactly. You couldn't have made them for less
bargain.
than that. Yeah.
Great. Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed.
Your heart is pounding. 2 days very hard work.
Yes.
I think you should open your eyes.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I don't even
I
know where we
can't
came
believe
in.
it.
Oh, it's brilliant. Oh,
Can't
it's brilliant.
believe it.
Oh, right.
Fantastic. Oh,
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Oh, it's lovely.
great. That was lovely.
Cheers. Can I
Are you-
give you a
Thank you
pop?
very much.
sad to see
Oh, it's
your
lovely.
stairway to heaven gone?
Is that where it
Absolutely
was?
brilliant.
Oh,
Brilliant.
God.
The floor, I
And
couldn't
we've got our
believe it.
privacy on now.
I
You
couldn't
wanted-
imagine that colour and the curtains. Oh, great.
Oh, it's
Brilliant.
This is all your
Absolutely.
own furniture, which I think
Oh,
we
right.
felt was a great base to start off with because it was
Yes.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And your picture
Yeah.
frames
I
fitted
just,
in so well.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
oh,
lovely.
Have you little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy when she
Oh,
was
yeah.
little, yeah. Oh,
I
it's
just don't know what to say.
wonderful.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I didn't think you could do this to this room.